Sometimes you just have to clean house, you know?
Gotham is going out with a bang for its final season with all your favorite villains, including, finally, the infamous Bane.
Played by the man who launched a generation of teen girl crushes, including one of mine. Here with us today is Shane West joining us. Hey, Shane, how are you?
Welcome to ET Live.
Thanks for having me.
I love that little clip that we just showed because it was like a throwback to the OC and a Walk to Remember.
There you
all
go.
On screen. Dynamic duo.
OC and Walk to Remember doing a little Wild Wild West confrontation.
Right. Love that.
So much grittier now, you two. You know what I mean?
It happens, hopefully, when you get older.
But it's kind of amazing because, you know, we're used to seeing you as that leading man, the romantic lead, but now we get to see you not just play a villain, but a Batman villain. How does that feel?
Well, I think I would assume every actor and actress would like to play a superhero or a supervillain at some point in their career. It's just like, you know, being a kid again. And it's a lot of fun. For me, villains are a little bit more exciting. Heroes kind of have to be the Rock, very stoic. A lot of times they don't have a lot of places that they can go. Whereas a hero, whereas a villain, you can change things up. And for me, my favorite villain of all time out of DC was Bane.
Wow.
It really, they called me up and I said, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't really care. You're right. When do a week and a half? All right, I'll be in New York in a week and a half.
So was it intimidating at all for you to kind of take on this role of a character that you love and hold dear to your heart?
It was. I mean, I was a big fan of what Tom Hardy did in Chris Nolan's film. And, you know, he had a good year to prepare and put on 30 pounds of muscle. But I had about a week and a half. So, you know, I did my research. I happen to be a fan of the character. But Gotham does things a little bit differently than the Batman mythology does. You know, they've changed up the whole story. So we're giving him a little bit of different background. And I got to play two characters. I essentially get to play Eduardo in the first part. And then in the next one, I get to turn into Bane. And so I got to act rather than just putting on the mask.
Right.
Because we're finally kind of getting the origin of Bane in this series for sure.
Yeah.
You already have this brooding voice. Did you have to tweak it or work on it at all for the character?
I did a little bit, but then I had to spend 2 hours ADRing all my lines. Which I kind of guessed I had to do. So then they change it up a little bit.
Okay.
But I did a little bit of what Tom did. I gave a shout out to some of what he did, and I gave a shout out mainly to the Batman animated series from the one big episode Bane was on that one. And then I used my own voice and tried to make it as husky as possible. It's a little more Batman-ish, but you know, Batman was played by somebody else. So, you know, you have to do something different. Yes.
Well, you mentioned the mask. I'm curious, did you keep any parts of the costume?
That's a good question. I kept a glove.
A glove?
Okay.
I kept a glove. I don't think they're supposed to know that.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why I kept one. If I took two, they might have remembered both. I wish I could have kept the mask. The mask was highly guarded. It was really amazing. I made them suction cup that thing on my face, and it took two people to take it off, and I couldn't do that.
I mean, that is Bane, you know, that mask.
Yeah, and then they added a little eyepiece too, so my peripheral vision was shot to hell.
Where's the glove now? It's like in a...
The glove is in my, it's at my house. It's not in a protective case. It's not as cool.
Like a Grammy?
Unfortunately, in the mask. It's right next to a Grammy. I wish, if I had a Grammy, that'd be pretty impressive. It'd be a good weekend.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned it, but Gotham does put its own spin on the Batman mythology, and we know that in the comics and in Dark Knight Rises, Bane breaks Batman's back, but in this, I mean, we don't even have Batman in Gotham.
Right.
So what kind of havoc does Bane wreak in Gotham in this series?
In this series, he's more of Jim Gordon's competitor. We're more of the same age, and it makes sense. And that's kind of the way that they decided to go, that they were old army buddies, and that I never did anything, my character never did anything correctly. He always did things not by the book. So we do a Breaking the Bat incident. But it's not necessarily Batman. They weren't going to have me break a 19-year-old kid's back. So I do break someone else's back for a nice little teaser, but I can't really say who it is. But I think the fans will enjoy it because it's still very much connected to the mythology.
So we have a new episode tomorrow. What is something that you can tease?
Well, as TV goes, lots of things happen fast. If this was a 20, yeah, it is. It's a shortened season, so we only have like 10 episodes. So we had to go quickly into the birth of Bane. So what you're basically going to find is me completely turned as a villain, dominate the landscape, get dominated myself, and then left for dead. and then something changes, and the other villain comes in, the person that I'm working for, who I think the fans will be very excited to see.
Interesting.
And she starts my transformation into Bane.
Now, will you watch tomorrow's episode? Like,
I will.
Will you critique yourself, or will you just
I will.
watch? Oh, you will. Okay.
I'll do yes.
Okay.
Yes on both. I will, especially on this. This is the first time I've ever done a recurring. This is the first time I've ever done a recurring on a show. So this is 4 or 5 episodes where it's not. I'm not going in trying to. I can't believe I'm going to watch myself for 22 episodes. I'm going to watch 4 or 5, and they're all unique and they're all different. And I also want to know, how I did. I am critical of myself, but I know if I can say if I did a good job, and I can say if I'm not going to do that again.
Well, Shane, it's also Valentine's Day. Are you going to turn into a date or something, coming to watch yourself on Gotham?
Oh, that's right.
Valentine's Day.
I know that. Yeah, I forgot. Oh man.
Not the most romantic show, but.
Well, I tell you one thing. That is incredibly cheesy. So what I will now have to do is that will be DVR'd, and then there's no way I would invite someone over and say, "Hey, you want to watch me?"
Hey, you want to watch
my show?
Well, if you guys are home on Valentine's Day, you can watch it too.
That's
Gotham,
true.
Thursdays
Yeah.
on Fox.